Hi, this is Tamara coming to you from the Makerspace. Today, we're going to be making vinyl stickers using our Cricut.
So you'll probably notice I use flowers a lot in my designs. Well, that might be because my mom calls me her flower child. I don't know. It might be a thing. It may not be. But anyways, I love sunflowers. And so what I want to do today is put a sunflower onto this jar here using this lovely sticker vinyl over here. As you can see, I've got 3 different colors. It's because we're going to be putting 3 different colors onto my design. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to take my measuring stick and I want to measure to see exactly how many inches the surface of my jar is. And I am seeing it's like a little over 3 inches. So to be safe, I'm probably going to do my design about 3 inches. And that will give me a lot of room to have my stem and my flower. My stem might be a little bit shorter than what is actually in my image here on the computer. But let's get to work and let's see how we're going to do this. Alright, so you can see that I have an entire flower here, including the design of the flower and the stem. So let's go ahead, and what we're going to want to do at this point is we're going to actually want to start splitting some of this up so that I can work with different colors. So let's go ahead, and the best thing to do is to start with pulling up a shape, which is right here. I'm going to click on shapes. And I'm going to pull out a square. You can see that these are both the same color, and for the sake of what I want to do today, I want to be able to see what I'm working with. So I'm going to change the color of my flower up here to orange. That'll help me navigate what I want to do with my box. So I'm going to put my box and make sure it covers my entire flower. So I'm going to raise that up just a tad bit. And move that over a little bit. Okay, so before I do anything else, let me just tell you a little bit about this box. And this is true for everything that you put into the Cricut design. You can work with manipulating this a little bit by the different corners of this box. The first corner here is this X, and if you click on it, it goes away, just kind of like, you know, you're closing out a Windows folder or something like that. So if you come over here and you see this corner here, this is a circular arrow. And if you click on it, you can see that it actually moves the box around in circles, kind of like that circular arrow there. Now we have here in the corner arrows with that kind of go in and out, and that just basically tells you you can resize your box this way. And finally, our last corner here is a lock. What does that mean? It means it's locked in doing everything in perspective and ratio. So if I move that in and out, everything stays in that square. But if I unlock this and I move you notice that that no longer is just the 2 arrows, it's all 4, and I can actually make it a rectangle. I can make it fit whatever I need to for the design that I'm going for. So I'm going to do that right there. So actually what I want to do now is cut off my flower, just so that I can actually do different colors on different things. So let's go ahead and come over here, and we're going to create a box that's going to select both images. We have the flower and my box that I just made. You can see there's this giant box around it now. Well, what does that help you with? Let's go ahead and take a look here in the corner. So in the far right, on the very bottom of your screen, you have different instructions that are different things that you can do with your design, and I'm going to click on this one that says slice. Basically what I'm doing is I'm slicing the top of the flower off of the stem. So let me go ahead and do that, and let's see what happened with that. So now that I've hit slice, you can see that my flower kind of is outlined in this box that we just made. And I'm going to pull the box away, and I'm going to pull away this black flower here, and it's leaving my orange flower here. But if you notice that I can also pull that away. So I'm going to move that up. And I'm going to come over here, and just like we did with the other, to do the slice, I'm going to draw a box around these two images, and then I'm going to hit delete and get rid of those. So now I have my flower and I have my stem, and you can see there's a little bit of extra going on both sides here. I'll clean that up in just a minute. But first thing I want to do is I want to click on my stem, and I want to change the color so that I can know that I'm working with a green stem. So how do you do that? Up here at the very, very top, there's a lot of options here. This one here has the color that we're working with right now. You can see that orange. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to come over here and say green. All right. So finally, let me, I'm going to clean this all up a little bit, and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, I've cleaned it up. Now I'm going to put all the pieces together. Let me just put my flower right on the top of my stem, and there it is. Voila, my flower and my stem together in a kind of a natural looking way. The only thing I have missing is you can't have a sunflower without that brown center. And yeah, I know it's not really a sunflower, but that's what I'm going with. Okay, so let me go ahead and add a shape. Once again, I'm going to come over here to where you add shapes. You can't see it on the screen right at the moment, but instead of doing a box, I'm going to do a circle. So let me get that to add, and I'm going to resize it. Remember how to do that. We're going to click on this corner here, just kind of drag it until it gets to where I kind of like it. Put it here in the center. I think I want it to be a little bit bigger. Do it again until I get it to right where I want it to be. Okay, and just for the sake of visualization, I'm going to change the color of my circle to brown. There it is. I kind of starting to look like a sunflower, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to move it a little bit further where I want it to go. And so there it is. There's my sunflower, and I've got 3 colors going on, which is the 3 colors that we're going to be using in the vinyl. Now, remember when we took the measurements of that jar and we decided that we really liked that 3 inches? So let's go ahead and resize this whole thing to make it fit 3 inches. So the first thing I want to do is draw a box around, the whole shebang, which is basically, connecting all of my images together. I'm not welding it together. I'm not grouping it together in a way that it's never going to be able to come apart. What I'm doing is I'm making this so where I can resize it at the same space, the same way. And you can see right here, it is currently 6 inches. So I'm going to come back up here, come back down here actually to my arrows, and I'm going to resize it to where I feel comfortable with it being 3 inches. Let me keep going a little bit further. That's close enough. It's not quite 3 inches, but it is very close to it. And now my flower is ready to be cut on the vinyl. And I'm going to go ahead and show you something here. So you remember we were working with this side over here to do those cuts and those slices. I'm going to show you here on this side at the top of the screen, and you can see that we have what we call basic cuts on each of these 3 different colors. So while my flower is put together in a shape that's really only for me to visualize what it's going to look like when I have it all put together. This right here is going to show you we're going to cut it in 3 different colors. And to do that, we're going to come all the way up here to Make It, which is this green button right here. I'll click it. It's going to take me to the next page. Okay, so here you go. Here are the 3 different colors. We have our green stem, our yellow flower, and our brown center of the flower. So you can see that the mats that are showing here are the different colors that we had when we were making our design. And you definitely want to make sure that you assign each part of your design a different color, because if I had made everything yellow like I originally had done, all of those pieces would be grouped into this one mat. And I don't want to do that because I actually want to do different colors for different pieces. So you want to make sure that you're very specific, and you don't have to do the colors that you're going to be using, but you can always, it's always a kind of a fun visualization tool. Okay, so now we are ready to go ahead and get started. So we're going to come over here in the corner, and we're going to hit continue. Okay. So the Cricut is now ready to go. All I need to do now is choose the type of vinyl I'm going to be using, and you can see that there are a lot of options here for different types of things that you can cut on the Cricut, but we're going to just choose regular vinyl. Okay, let's go ahead and get started cutting. Alright, so I'm going to prep my Cricut mat. The very first thing I'm going to do is take off the plastic covering off of the mat. That protects the mat when it's not in use because it's really sticky on the inside. And let me get my piece of vinyl that I'm going to do. I'm going to work with the brown first. And you want to make sure that you get it all the way in the very top corner here, because that's basically where all designs line up. So it's get everything in the top corner. If you have enough, you can go over it a little bit, off to the side a little bit, but you want to make sure that this portion is covered for your print, because it's usually everything centers here before you go out. You can see that I have my flashing light here. It's ready to load the Cricut mat. Let's go ahead and get it placed. You want to make sure that you fit it underneath these notches here, and when you push the button, you want to hold onto the mat on this side. You want to hold onto the mat while it's pulling it, because otherwise it may not have enough pressure to pull it in. So I'm going to hit this flashing light, and now I have a new flashing light, and that is this C here. That was it. We're done. Okay, I'm going to press this button to unload the mat. It's that flashing one that works with pulling the mat in and out. And now I'm just going to go ahead and do all the rest. Okay, now we're completely done. Now it's time for the next step of the process, and that is to pull all the vinyl away from the design we just cut. Let's go ahead and get started. So I want to make sure that I just cut away from the designs that I just made, because this vinyl can be used for other projects. right, let's see what we've got. So you want to find your corner, and we're going to peel away from the corner. Be very careful when you get to your design that you cut out, and you want to make sure that it stays on this backing here. There we go. There's our stem, and let's get all the rest of it together. So we could totally just put this directly onto the jar, but it really, you know, especially like with the stem here, it might be a little bit harder to keep all of your shape in you know, the idea intact. So what we like to do instead is we like to use transfer tape. This transfer tape, here, let me move this out of the way. This transfer tape is kind of like masking tape. You can also get some tape from the crafting store that is you know, the official transfer tape. But what we're going to do is we're going to cover the image, and then we'll peel away the backing. Because, you know, like masking tape, you don't have to be exact. So let's peel away that backing, leaving your vinyl onto the transfer tape. And that way your entire image is intact, and now you're working with the sticky side. So let's see where we want to put this on my jar. I'm going to place it right here. So some of these pieces might be very delicate, so we want to be very careful when we pull it off. And there's the stem. So now all we have to do is do the exact same thing with the flower and the center flower. So let's get going. Oh my gosh, there you go. I absolutely love this design, and I think it's placed perfectly on the jar. And you can see we have all three colors represented, and it takes a little bit of extra work, but I think it's worth it, and it makes a lot of fun and adds a lot of wonderful elements to it.
Isn't this so cute? I guess I am that flower child that my mom always said I was. I don't know, but you know, I do like flowers. But anyways, I worked with 3 different vinyl colors for our project today, but you can work with one vinyl color, you can do letters, you can do a whole bunch of different things, and we would love for you to come in and use it here in the Makerspace. We are open 6 days a week, Tuesday through Sunday, and we look forward to seeing you. But if you have any questions, please send us an email at makerspace@arlingtontx.gov. See you soon.